Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to verify the installation of Centrify, authentication against Active Directory, and joining a domain using a simple chef recipe. This is just an illustration only. When you're using chef, ideally you're going to adhere to the principles of REST APIs. Therefore, when you're writing something as complex as managing infrastructure, most likely you have to do it the right way using a cookbook and making it as independent as possible. But first, let's talk about what we did before. So this is a set of building blocks. In the previous video, we actually set up our Centrify repository, right? That allows us to be able to do something like yum info Centrify DC. And basically, this system is already configured to use our repository that has the RPMs for this particular platform. Now what we're doing is we're layering on top a development framework. I'm not a chef expert, but just by looking around in the tutorials, I was able to get something going right away. But I had to modify a little bit what we did before. So in the previous video, we only had the Centrify agents and the repository data. Now I put in a utility folder that has a usable krv5.com file and an adjoiner keytab file. These two files are needed because this system most likely by default doesn't have any information about Kerberos. As a matter of fact, I already have my test system here. And if I do a cat etc krv5.com, what you'll see is that there's not even a krv5.com file in there, right? So most likely if you wanted to do kinit, you won't be able to do it. The other file that we need here is a key tab, and in this case is the key tab that corresponds to an AD user that has the minimum rights to do what you want to do. Ultimately, you don't want to create an account that has big rights like administrator or domain administrator. In this case, I have a simple AD environment, and ultimately what I need is this account to be able to provision Active Directory computer objects to this server's OU here. That's all it needs. If I want it to be able to be used for cleanup, I can use it for cleanup as well. And I need to then grant the ability to remove that. So if you've been following some of the blog posts, this should be very easy. So I have my chef recipe that I wrote using Atom. Ultimately, these are the things that I say that are against the design principles of a nice tool like Chef. Putting this information that is for my environment, right? So that information you want to be able to make it more dynamic so you can use it with templates and all that stuff. I don't have the knowledge to do that. But I was able to spend a few hours and doing some tutorials and reading a little bit, and I was able to, set up a basic package. And from what I read, by default, it is going to install it. The other thing is I need that file. So that file, I'm going to be able to copy it locally to the TMP folder, and I need this other file as well. The rest was just to, it's the same cadence. You need the Centrify installer. You need a krv5.com file and in a key tab to automation. And I was able to kinit, right? And at the same time do an AD join with the parameters that I wanted. The end result is this. So I can do, I am running in this case, let's do a chef -v. And it's going to show you the version that I'm running. I'm just running this standalone in a single recipe, right? So if I do an ls, I'm going to do a chef apply. Oh, first and foremost, let's verify. So AD info, that tells you that this Centrify is not installed. If I ls the TMP folder, none of the files that I need are there. So let's go ahead and run it. So it will be chef apply, and then the name of the file in here, which is install centrifydc.rb. So my expectation is that A is going to install this package and then perform the functions that I wanted, get the files, kinit, and then join the domain and join the zone in a computer role. So I'm going to show you here. In this case, I only have 3 computers. If I refresh, there's only 3 computers. The computer role that I need to join, which is the PCI systems computer role, has no members. And you know, the idea is once it's joined, we're able to also see from the Centrify side who has access to this machine, and if needed, we can do a report against it and enforce basically strong access control. So in here, it's actually it's already there. Notice that I copied the files and it executed everything. So let's take a look. So an AD info. Oh, notice that I'm joined there already. And if I look in here and I do a refresh, notice that I have my Linux One machine here. If I do a show effective user rights, right now only Diana can actually log in, and she can log in all and run any command as root, right? If I wanted to, for example, generate a report on who has access to this machine, I can just do a display report. So this is going to generate a report in real time. And if I look at Diana, she can log into this machine, Linux One, and run those commands. So everything seems to be fine. Everything worked as expected. And this, it's a bunch of building blocks, right? The first thing is you need your own repository. Then you commit to a deployment framework. Maybe in this case, I'm using Chef. Really interested in this infrastructure as code that that is going to be, it's going to change the way we do infrastructure. And then finally, we're going to do interesting things. Maybe I'm going to start looking at OpenStack now. So I'm hoping that this video, and the blog post actually helped, and we can go from there.